Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage. I'm a little tired. I'm doing this just before work this morning. But yeah, we got to talk about this. PlayStation 6 threatens to break the $1,000 mark, and pure material costs are exploding. This is really, really bad. Now, I don't usually use Playfront, but not everyone is quite talking about this. But partly, I think, because it's Kepler L2. This is a report from him that ultimately there's been a massive increase in material costs over the last 3 months. We've been talking about that some. Yeah, he's also revised and corrected his forecast for the PlayStation 6 bill of materials, or BOM, upwards, higher even still. Components were basically $760 in March of this year. That was 3 months ago. And this figure has increased by another $200 due to shortages, sharply rising RAM and memory prices, and inflation. This brings the current manufacturing cost for the next gen console at approximately $960 per unit. Console manufacturers often sell their hardware at a loss and monetize the base through software sales and subscriptions. PlayStation 4, the loss per unit was around $60. The PlayStation 5 was in the single digits, so they didn't lose too much. That was good. But with, $960, even with the retail price of $999, Sony would have to subsidize the console with a three-figure loss per unit, $100. And at 10 million units sold, the shortfall would be over $1 billion. And the reason is why this wouldn't cover the cost is because Sony has other people that they need to pay. It's not just getting the goods to the table. It's making the thing. It's shipping the thing. It's giving a piece to the retailers on store shelves, and it costs more money than that. And so, even just to become profitable, this would well be over $1,000 at this point. And, again, with Asha Sharma saying that prices are still expected to go up even by holiday of 2027, 18 months from now, this is not going to get better. And for people that have not bought in, there's roughly 30 million still on PlayStation 4, and there's roughly 6 million on Xbox One. There's 36 million users that still have not upgraded because, again, life has been expensive. It's cost a lot. What are they going to do? And ultimately, there's kind of no end in sight for this. And so if prices keep going up another, 18 months, waiting an extra year isn't going to really do anything. Now, I did want to show at least some of the commodities that are used for making and actually in these components. But yeah, look at what silver did. We were pretty much at like $24, $30, $35, and then whoop, just freaking went crazy. And even with an over 50% drop, we're still at $57. Same with copper, pretty normal, has been just under $5 to maybe $3 in some sense. But yeah, in the middle, it's normally around 4. And yeah, now we're at 6. Just like with oil, when we're taking a look at U.S. oil here of how much it costs, we had the Strait of Hormuz, and then, well, it's coming back down. But again, we have a shortfall out there in the market, and it takes months to fill and move these ships. So we should be finding out by the end of summer, August or September, kind of where the market is really shaking out for energy costs. And you can't make anything or ship anything without energy. But realistically, this is also a really big problem for the Switch 2. This means that even with the $50 price hike that the Switch 2 had, it's not going to really work. And let's take a look at what prices have already done again. So these are current prices here. June of 2026. This is stuff that I've calculated out. I'm a numbers guy. I enjoy it. But like the Switch 1 and Switch 2 are roughly at a 13 and 11% respectively for their price increases. And the Japanese version is up 21%. That's a lot. And then again, sales dropped 87% week over week. We're seeing too that even with the price increase from roughly 550 to 650 for the base PlayStation 5, of course it's been a little more than that. It launched at 500, but they've had an overall 30% increase over 5 years, 6 years, not a ton. The sales for PlayStation are dropping off a lot. Xbox has already had a ton of sales drop off anyway. The price increases are also not getting better. They just had price increases again of 66% total, $300 to now $500 for the Series S, and then 60% from $500 to now $800 for the Series X. And then again, there's just no way to get around this. Even Steam Machine was roughly supposed to be around $750, maybe $800, and has to be $1,050, which again is also a 40% increase for them. The Pro was initially $700, now it's $900. That's again almost a 30% increase. The Slim Digital 400 to now 6 is 50%. So no matter how we go about this is just not going to be going any better. If you can buy pre-owned stuff, I suggest you would do your research on it. But a lot of people, they're just going to sit and wait. And I've had a few polls, and I've seen other polls too from other channels. And yeah, a lot of people will just want to sit on current hardware. So I don't think there's maybe going to be a lot of buying. Maybe initially, and then just like the Switch 2, there's going to be a lot of buying right at the beginning. All of the people that have the money, that have the channels, that are content creators, that are major enthusiasts, they're going to run out and buy it literally day one and get it as soon as they can. And they probably should, because the price is probably going to go up. But for everybody else, they're probably just going to sit. And even with places, or even with the Switch 2, we've had sales drop off pretty significantly. And well, now with the price increase, they're going to be dropping even more. Their price increase is September 1st. This price increase for $800 for a Series X is going to be in August. And then I'm expecting PlayStation, which most people agree, it's over 90%, no matter what type of poll I look at. 90% agree that, yeah, there's going to be another price increase for all of the PlayStation 5s. And the Steam machine, I don't think that's going to stay necessarily. Even if, consoles don't make a lot of money or any money, they still can't be too far off actually just breaking even. And so that's why the cost goes up. So I don't know where the Switch 2 is going to shake out. We're already at $500. We might get to $600 by the end of the generation if things keep going. And even if we have a major crash, it's still way above where it was. And that's the issue. The lag time to actually work through this. And what I think we would really need to have is just a full out recession. Like major recession. Everything down. Everyone going broke. More people losing their job. 10% unemployment. 15% unemployment. Something pretty substantial. Something pretty big. And then if that's happening, well, you're probably not thinking about gaming anyway because, well, you're still trying to just put food on the table and a roof over your head. So in no circumstance are the 2020s going to be good for gaming. I can't see it. Anyway, but yeah, $1,000. Some people are still hoping it's $500-$600. I don't think it's possible. Between now and whenever launch is, even if it's in 2029, I don't think it's going to matter. It might make it better, but I think the $500 console is gone. And then next gen, yeah, minimum $1,000. And yeah, the Helix I'm thinking is going to be around 2,000, which is insane. I want to put this out here too. That Q, one of the guys that helps me with the podcast, he priced out his current PC. He paid about $1,950, and for roughly the same cost, it'd be $3,000 today. Exactly the same stuff, same amounts, and it's almost double. And he bought his PC a year ago. That's just where we're at, guys. With that, I'll see you guys on the next one.